Welcome to Story Route Zero.
This is a podcast where friends gather to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, and the strange worlds of video games. We often don't know where we're going, but that's half the fun. Come on the journey with us. Hit us up on Twitter at StoryRoute0. You can send us an email at StoryRoute0@gmail.com. That includes questions, concerns, comments, complaints, pet pics. Send us some recipes. Send us some stories about your day. We're going to listen.
Podcast, start your engines. We have liftoff. Let's have a journey.
Now I lay me down to sleep. Ooh, I just can't find a beat. Flashlight. This is Story Route Zero, episode 72. That's Parliament with their iconic song Flashlight off of the album. I don't remember. I think it's off of Funkadelic versus the Placebo Syndrome, but hey, I might be wrong. My name is Matthew Keel. This is Story Route Zero. I've got three friends with me on a Memorial Day. So happy Memorial Day to the once transplant masshole, but now a Rhode Island pothole. Michaela Crishone, how are you?
We work on that.
Yeah, I don't know how to respond to that, but I am here.
Fair. I don't know how I just came up with it. So
I am vaguely tethered to this mortal coil, being consented to be recorded by Zoom.
Yes, Zoom lady is very strict about recording. Running this ship as always, Jason Marshall. How are you?
Doing well.
Cool.
You?
I'm all right. I have a bit of a headache, but I'm going to push through. And last but certainly not least, Moose Cool. How are you?
Doing well, sir.
Cool.
It's been a great weekend.
I would agree. In fact, let's start there. Who wants to go first? How was your weekend? Everybody at once. Cool. Love it.
Fantastic. It was great. Watched
What'd
some
you do,
horror
Moose?
movies. I watched some horror movies that I don't usually watch, which was great. Two great movies back to back.
What'd you watch?
So we went, what was it, last week? The week we went and saw Man or Wrath.
Wrath of Man.
Wrath of Man. Sorry, I always fucked that up.
He's always talking about his favorite game, Last Remnant, so.
So Kelly and I went and saw that, and then we saw the trailer for A Quiet Place 2. And she was like, "Oh, Quiet Place 2 looks really good." And I'm like, "Yeah, but we haven't seen the first one." And so this weekend we rented it Saturday and watched A Quiet Place, which is actually really good. So that's the type of movie that I can deal with. I don't know. Have y'all seen it?
Mm-hmm.
I have not.
No. Okay, so it I don't like horror movies for the whole, I don't know, just sometimes I don't like them, but this one worked. Once you watch it, we could discuss why it worked for me. And then so yesterday we decided to, at like 9:30, Kelly's like, "Hey, do you want to go to 11 o'clock showing of A Quiet Place 2?" And I'm like, she's like, "How's 12:25?" And I said, "That's better." Because I got into some stuff on WoW, and I was just like, "Give me a second." I haven't even drank a cup of coffee, and she's like, "Let's go." And I'm like, just whoa. And so we bought tickets and went and saw that, and that was really freaking good. I highly recommend watching both of them. They're both really great movies. Anyway, so we did that. Just been kind of chilling, making really good food, drinking a lot of really good beer. And then today for Memorial Day, we went over to the neighbor's house and had a cookout and played some croquet, which were 1 and 2. As far as the Cools versus the Owens were 1 and 2. I think mainly because my neighbor's wife is a hustler. And she lost the first 2 rounds, which Kelly won us the first round. I came in second on the second round, but her husband won. And then she won the third round. I'm like, y'all out here hustling us, But anyway, so played some croquet and just been chilling, playing some video games. So it's been a good weekend.
Cool.
Anyone else?
Michaela, how was your weekend?
Sorry.
What even is weekend? I moved, so I moved.
Or are you in your place now?
No,
You moved out.
You just moved out.
Yeah, my new apartment is not available till the 10th.
Okay.
So I'm currently crashing at my dad's. They're all downstairs watching the Bruins game. So I took Friday off. Wow, I can't even form a coherent sentence at this point. So Wednesday, Thursday, I had family stuff. I celebrated my mom's 60th birthday on Thursday. Friday, I took the day off to finish my packing. For reasons I won't get into, I was up till 3 a.m. and then the movers came. They were coming at 8 a.m. and I wanted to pack my car with the stuff I didn't want them to take before they got there. So I fell asleep a little after 3, woke up around 6:30, packed my car. And then they came at 8. They were in and out pretty quick. They got my shit in about an hour and a half. And then I kept, working on stuff. Like I was helping my roommate pack. We both had a lot of family stuff going on. She really needed the help. So I was helping her, getting her in shape. We got her mostly moved out by like 3 in the afternoon. And then I came down here. Sunday, I went back to pick up the last few things with my dad that I couldn't fit in my car. And to clean, you're going to get rid of the trash, floor sweep, mop, counters, all that shit. And then I came back here again and tried to catch up on some sleep. I also made myself work out today and yesterday because I'm getting my second dose of the vaccine tomorrow. So I can't reliably say I'll be able to work out the next couple days. But yeah, we had some record-setting terrible weather this weekend too. It was raining and cold the whole time. It was the new coldest day on Saturday for this time of year since 1917. Go New England. You do
100
you.
years. 100 years.
Yeah, the weather sucked here too, but today was nice. So we went to the zoo.
Oh, nice.
Then came home and put together a new patio table. Anytime I open furniture and they provide tools, I immediately I know, like, okay, I'm going to my toolbox because obviously what you gave me is not going to be used for this because you clearly just pack random shit in with the stuff.
Sometimes,
They gave me an Allen wrench, but they're screws. I'm like, hello?
I would like to speak to your manager.
Where?
Yeah.
And then, like, I'm sorry, you have the collection of those tiny wrenches with the Allen keys that go to and you have no idea what furniture it came from. It's like, why do I have like 40 of these?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But got that together, so we have now patio furniture for the backyard.
Very nice.
At least the chairs were just folding chairs. Nicer ones, but I didn't have to assemble anything.
Right.
Because after being outside all day at the zoo, it's like, ugh. Like, you've been outside all day, you're dead to the world. And it's like, yeah, let's put together furniture.
Yeah. I've been there.
But that's about it.
Cool.
Just like I said, shitty weather.
Yeah. When we left for the mountains on Friday night, and we got in about 10:40 because the rain started rolling in, and then it was just rainy all weekend. It broke a little bit on Saturday, so we could put the dock in at the lake. Let me tell you, that was fun. It's really nice when you're in like somewhere between 40 and 50 degree weather and you walk into lake water and your legs are immediately cold up until the one spot on your body it's going to be freezing. I won't go into any further detail other than that. Figure that out on your own. but we had a lot of fun putting in the dock, and I've been told that taking out the dock is probably 2 to 3 times as hard. So yay me for later this year, I guess. Didn't really get to use the lake just because of all the rain, but we did get to see Reba's cousins' children, Charlotte and Vivi, and I taught Charlotte how to play a couple of games which she asked to play, and we'll talk about that shortly. But
Nice.
other than that, got home today, which of course it was like the nicest day up there. So of course we're leaving on that day because Murphy's Law of Vacations.
It's usually when it happens, everything fucking clears up, and
It's
you're like,
man,
you're going to leave. You're like, where was the overcast to drive home in so I don't get sunburned on the left side of my face? Like, it's just like, son of a bitch.
right. Well, luckily everything was probably going to be on the right because I was in the passenger on the way home because I was nice enough to drive.
Okay.
So
yeah, see, y'all trade off, so that works. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we're democratic in this house. Who's been playing games? Anybody?
I'm gonna go first because I'm gonna be quick. You can basically skip me because
there probably has not been a lot of playing lately.
between work, family obligations, and drama, and moving, I played a couple hours of my backlog game yesterday, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
And we're talking backlog next week. So skip, pass.
Yeah.
Next.
I'm gonna go next because I'm about the same. I've played probably about 15 to 20 minutes of Binding of Isaac this week. And then when I was in the mountains, I pulled out, like, Charlotte and Vivi's parents were asleep, or they were away for whatever reason, and we were kind of watching the kids. And I asked Charlotte if she likes video games, and she looks at me and she goes, "Uncle Muffy," because she had a hard time saying Matthew when she was a kid. I love video games. I go, "What games do you like?" She's like, "I don't really know." I'm like, okay. So I pulled out my Switch because I happen to have it because I'm not traveling to be bored. And I'm like, look through the games. And she picked up a game, and this will immediately endear her to Jason. She picked Undermine.
Nice. Very nice.
and I'm like, okay, so this is probably going to be a little difficult for you. So what I want you to do is I want you to control the left stick. I will control like the rest of the buttons, just so we can at least, keep moving. We were able to get to the first boss together, which I feel like we did all right. And then she goes, and then she's like, let's try something else. I go, okay, fine. So I scroll through, and she points at a game. She's like, stop there. What's that? And of course, she points to Heave-Ho.
Nice.
Now, Charlotte, love her to pieces, not good at Heave-Ho, especially once she figured out what the fart button did. Anytime you drop into a stage and land, you get shot in whatever direction her butt is pointed because she's just holding the A button ready to release. And she was screaming with laughter every time she did it.
She's a spammer.
It was kind of wonderful. And then she started telling her dad about it. She's like, "Dad, you gotta play the fart game." And he's like, "Who taught you the fart game?" And he's thinking of what the actual fart game is, where you fart on your younger sibling's head. And I'm like, "No, I think she means Heave-Ho, Ian." And she's like, he's like, "What's Heave-Ho?" I'm like, "Okay, so you remember the wall walkers, like as a kid?" He's like, "Those things that just sort of slinky along walls." I'm like, "Yeah. You do that, but it's a video game and there's a farting mechanic in it." And he's like, "Wait a minute. Why do wall walkers need to fart?" I go, "They don't, but they do." And it's kind of funny. So yeah, for a while, we actually got through a few stages, all three of us, when all three of us played. And then the fart, when those two got frustrated, they just farted a lot, and it was a lot of fun. So yeah, Binding of Isaac, Undermine, and Heave-Ho were games that I revisited this week for whatever time I could. Jason or Moose?
Moose, after you.
I'll go. Lots of Warcraft. I actually beat the Covenant campaign yesterday, and then I also ran some Torghast dungeons to get my Soul Ash to create my legendary, which is a cloak. So I got that going. And then I switched to my shaman because I was like, I need a break. I need a break from this paladin grind, which is nice, which is what I like about WoW. Like you can have multiple alts just to be like, I don't want to deal with the hassle of like grinding this, so you can switch to something else. So my elemental shaman, which is a ranged DPS, is now 21. She's 20 or 21. And I just started her like 2-3 days ago, not even. So leveling in WoW is pretty fast now with retail. But been playing that, and then I fired up. Oh, I've been playing my backlog game too, which we'll talk about next week. I did fire up Biomutant today, and holy bland. Just I like that's all I have to say about it. I can't. I don't know. Like Jace, we were discussing it before the show, and apparently, Jason feels like the first hour and a half is not like if you could suffer through that, it might get better, or it's it's not the best showing of the game. So I'm gonna tough it out because I want to play it. I wasn't having a terrible time, but I'm like, this is not like I don't know. I just didn't feel it was the best that it could have been. So I'll get back to that eventually. I mean, it was to the point where I was just like, because we've been talking about Michaela and Jason playing Borderlands, I was like, well, let's see what my character's doing in Borderlands 3. And so I downloaded Borderlands 3 and realized that I don't have the last 2 DLC of the season pass. Download it. And so got that going and was just like, all right, well, I'm done. So I got finished with that. I just turned it off and just decided to walk away from the PlayStation. So basically my PlayStation has been turned on for roughly an hour in the last 3 weeks, maybe something like that, or 2 weeks, because I did play a lot of the Mass Effect Legendary Edition when it dropped. I streamed it twice, so it hasn't been 3 weeks, but like in the last week, it's been on for like 45 minutes to an hour. So, anyways, I need to get back to Mass Effect Legendary Edition. I want to start streaming it again, but I was trying to make the mad push to just get through the Covenant with WoW and to get through with making my legendary just so that I'd be in a good spot for 9.1, right, Jason? Mm-hmm. Is that the patch note? Yeah, so the next one's 9.1. So I just want to be in a good place. I didn't want to have to be playing from behind. I'm already playing from behind because Shadowlands came out in November. So I'm a little bit behind, but somewhat caught up now. And I think now I'm just going to work on my professions and trying to find the last piece of my judgment set, which is the gauntlets or the bracers. So not the hands, but the bracers. So you don't really see those. So my character is basically all decked out in the transmog that I was looking for. But yeah, so that's pretty much what I've been playing lately. Just a lot of freaking WoW. But anyways, Jason, what have you been up to?
Moose, that was a lucid, well thought out, and intelligent objection to Biomutant. Overruled. Before I get into Biomutant, I did try, and I told Michaela, Dragon Quest XI, the demo, because she's like, the really anime one? I'm like, hold on. No. 2D is not anime. Apparently, the demo does not allow for 2D. It's not in the demo.
Oh.
So I played through. I left. Anyone play it?
Dragon Quest 11? No, I want to though.
All of it.
So I left the village.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of the combat. I like attack, next one, cast fire, next heal, next attack. I don't like the whole choosing. It's like tactics, but it's like you choose. Like I don't like that whole show no mercy and then just attack, or
You can do auto. Like, you can turn that off. You can
maybe the
shoot,
demo didn't really.
Yeah, you can manually input for all your people.
Okay.
You don't have to do it that way.
All right. I mean, because that was like,
I didn't do that. I definitely didn't do that.
didn't
I
like
definitely
it's
did
basically
manual
auto
inputs.
attack, and I'm like,
Mm-mm.
this is
I-
boring.
yeah.
Like,
was
I
gonna say-
nixed that.
So my question is, why are you saying this is not anime?
You can play Dragon Quest XI S in 2D
Okay.
pixel art instead
Alright.
of the
Yes.
3D Akira Toriyama.
Yes.
Okay. So
that's the only reason I wanted to, because I knew they added it where you can play the entire game like the old school Dragon Quest.
okay.
Yes.
All right.
But apparently the demo doesn't. It says 2D not available in demo.
So that I believe that feature was added when the Switch edition launched,
Right.
which they led us to believe was exclusive, but apparently became timed because when they announced it on the Xbox like last year, the year before, like it also came out on PS4. So
Yeah, it's in all of them now, but
yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. I thought of it because it's on sale,
Okay.
but I prefer RPGs on my Switch just to drop in and out, and it's not on sale. So I was like, you know what? Let me play the demo first. See. Okay, now that I know maybe I have to look through it. Maybe the demo.
Yeah, I don't know about the demo, but you can turn that shit off.
Okay,
Check your options.
Yeah, I'm gonna look through it again because the whole. It was cool that you can kind of set a profile like show no mercy or use no mana points or just do this, be more passive, like take your time. Like that was cool, and especially for like when I've played enough JRPGs like the grind, it'd be nice to just hit attack once and let it go through till the enemies are dead. But like I kind of wanted, like, I'm just starting. I'm not tired of the combat.
Yeah, I don't even think I turned it on when I did grinding. I'm pretty sure I just turned that off and did manual the whole time. I might have done like remember where I left my cursor, and that's it.
I'm curious how.
I like that feature in those type of games. The remember your cursor, where like the last spot you were.
Did you play in 2D at all?
A little bit. I only put like 5-6 hours into S. I played all the way through the original one before S was announced.
Okay. Like I'm curious how like you can jump in the like there's a
I don't
quest,
remember.
There's a quest in the beginning where you have to get the feather from the roof.
Yeah, I'm pretty. If you have to do that, then you probably can jump. I do remember that in the 2D, it turns it into random encounters instead of being able to see enemies in the environment.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought that was a cool feature. You could attack. You could do like a preemptive attack before to enter combat if you want.
Yep.
I thought that was interesting how they did that.
It launched on the PS4 first.
PC and PS4 first.
Well, PC and then the special edition came on Switch. On Switch, okay, that's what I thought. And then they released that back to the PS4, and Xbox finally got the game, because I don't think Xbox got the game until it released as the S edition. So
well, yeah, it was originally the S edition came to the Switch, and it was a timed exclusive, and then the S edition went over to PS4 and Xbox. The S edition adds the 2D that Jason was talking about, the 2D pixel art play style for the whole game, pretty much. And the other main difference is it adds extra like chapters or story bits for each of the main characters, which is why I would be interested in going back to play through S, but just it took me 80 hours to beat the game the first time. So that's not an easy one to just be like, I'm gonna squeeze this in.
Yeah, I'm just gonna throw 80 hours.
I think there's also a huge end game chunk as well.
Yes, I did a lot of the end game stuff too. Like, so 80 hours, I think, includes whatever I did after the credits.
Okay.
But the majority of my week was spent in Biomutant. I put in over a day's playtime. This is one of my favorite games this year. Cool. This is so much fun. Yes, the first hour and a half is it's a slow burn. Like you take 5 steps and like all of a sudden there's another dialogue or something teaching you about the world. But once you get to this, it's maybe an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours at most. You kind of have free reign. Like you could do whatever the hell you want. I, according to the game progress, I'm only 12% through. I don't know what. I have the end game quest in my quest log.
Oh,
So
wow, okay.
I guess you can. I don't know what percentage. I know there's a certain percentage. I know you have to hit a certain point to get these quests. Like you have to find NPCs that will lead you to the end bosses. But so the game progress is probably everything. So I don't think I'm curious where it would be if you just beat it as soon as possible. I mean, some reviewers were done at like 16 hours. I mean, based on where I am, I could beat it and be done in, I don't know, another hour or two, depending on how long the boss fights are. I mean, the boss fight, I know where the bosses are on the map. Like I could see them. They're actually physically, you could see them on the map. But this is just, it's just, I love everything about it. I think if you enjoyed the open world of Fallout 4, but without you don't enter buildings. The buildings are all opened. Most of them are like, we're talking like post-apocalyptic landscape, like Fallout, but you don't enter the building. They're like, the walls are torn off. Like, you just mosey on in. So there's no loading in. Like, the only loading is if you do fast travel, which is like Ghost of Tsushima level fast travel. Like it's not like fast travel. Okay, I'm gonna go get a drink. Like no, it already loaded. There's a crafting system for the weapons, which right now I'm rocking. One of my alternate weapons is a pump action trumpet shotgun.
Go on.
the the muzzle is a trumpet horn. I removed the trumpet pieces, and so it's a shotgun that shoots saw blades out of a trumpet horn.
That's a lot.
Nice.
That's a lot.
One of my
Very
melee
nice.
weapons is a radioactive carrot on a sword handle.
Just gonna beat people with a carrot.
Yeah.
That was, I told Jason about this. One of the first things I saw in an early trailer that's got to be 4 years old at this point was they showed the weapon crafting system. And it was just like half of like a sawed off stop sign that somebody stuck on like one of those arms that goes down when a train's coming or when you don't want your car to go. And I was like, yes, I'll take that.
Oh, I have one weapon. It's the front end of a safe. So it's got the dials and the steel door just attached to a baseball bat. The combat,
That's
the
a
best
lot.
way, the
That's a lot to
combat
process.
it's a mixture of gunplay and melee. But you can do special moves that basically gives you like a bullet time effect if you build up the meter, which is kind of cool. And then you have like special moves within that when that meter's going, and you do extra damage. And like if you know bullet time, you're moving way faster than everyone else. Tons of side quests, and they're long, but not like they're not rich like Witcher 3, like Bloody Baron, like there's story beats, but like one of mine is like to find 15 old world vaults. So there's like 15 across the entire map, which obviously is not, you could do it, but it's basically it's a piece of candy game. As I best describe it. Like you're going, like you find an NPC, it's like, oh, can you help me find this? It's like, all right, why not? And I was like, wait a minute, I'm nowhere near my direction I was going in. And it's just I find myself lost, and I'm fine with it. Like, crap, I'm literally on the other side of the mountain. Okay, well, whatever. Let me quest over here. But yeah, the crafting's great. Like, guns are crafted like you build a stock, a grip, a base, which changes like shotgun, guns, rifles, automatic rifles, and you find the parts. It's like Neo with that. You find a lot of loot that you have no idea what it is because they're all weird names. Like there's no the naming convention. It's not like automatic rifle. It's like some made up word, but it does when you look at the description. But like no inventory management. Yes, no inventory management.
I love those
Although
words.
if you don't go in and look at what you have and like because you can dismantle stuff for scrap or other parts, like the other night I was playing for like 4 hours without checking. I had to spend like 25 minutes scrapping everything because I was like, oh, I haven't checked this in a while.
Damn.
Well, because I already built my first 9-star weapon, which is the max. So I'm just looking for certain pieces at this point, but no weapon I find is going to be better. I mean, I could upgrade existing weapons to 9-star, but with my build that I like, I'm kind of set, so I tend to forget. But like your gear loadout is like I have like an Evil Knievel motorcycle helmet on, these shoulder pads that look like muffler ends, and like you just stuff has like gear slots have like add-ons like, and you put like scrap on it that adds like armor to it, and it's just so ridiculous. And they must have took a lot from other games and heard complaints because they have outfits. Remember we complained about that in Ghost? There's literally next to the gear tab, there's an outfit tab. You switch to a blank slot, equip all the gear, it auto saves. And then mid game,
Nice.
as long as you pause, the game's not going. So like you can enter a zone where you can't breathe. You need like an oxygen kit on. You can just pause, switch to the gear set that has your you have like resist gear. Like I'm far enough in the game that I can enter most zones without gear on. I built up my resistance, but there's some zones you need to wear an oxygen set. So it's set that I can just pause it, switch to it quick, go back to combat. It's just, I mean, it's a lot of fun. The story's not bad. I mean, it is weird that the narrator, he's with you the whole time, and he basically reads the dialogue for you, which is a little weird at times, but like it's not that bad. I'm just having a blast. I really think you need to get past that tutorial and get to the open world.
Yeah, and I'm working towards that. So I'm hoping to hit that sometime this week because I'm gonna continue the break from WoW.
I think my
Yeah.
only complaint now is if the game's in rest mode, your game save doesn't realize it and the clock keeps running. My
hate
game
that.
save says I've played 3 days so far.
Nice.
And I'm like, what? No, that can't be. And I look like my PlayStation profile says like 16 or 17 hours. But I think that's also like, but I was looking based
The
on where I
PlayStation
was.
profile has been wrong a lot. That one.
But beautiful environment. Like it looks great out there. I didn't find it void of enemies. Sure, it would. Enemies are tied to location, so you're not going to really encounter many just randomly, which is fine though, because there's so many locations, and there's plenty of fast travel, which is nice. And you can fast travel at any point. You don't need to be at a fast travel station. So you can just bring up the map. But I'm having a blast. It might be my favorite game this year. So
Wow.
That's awesome to hear.
I could probably put in double my time and not be completely done.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Gotta get that plat.
Well, the thing with the plat, though, I think I'll have the plat before I'm 100%.
Really?
Because
some games I like that.
The trophies are specific things to do. And I've looked at the trophy list. I can do I can finish them off. You don't need to have finished all the stuff to do. But there's just so much, like, you can even craft a water, a wave rider, basically. And I showed Michaela a picture. Mine's got a metal rubber ducky head. So it's like you're on a wave rider with a Matt's like, damn it.
That's so good. That's so fuck. This is already one of my games of the year. I haven't even played it yet.
There's also
Mine's in a box.
One of the upgrades you unlock is a hang glider. So jump off high enough spot, automatically start going.
Sweet.
But yeah,
very nice.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I highly recommend it. So moves power through and then decide. But yes, it is one of the slowest burns to the start of a game ever.
Well,
go ahead.
No, you first.
I was just saying, to the point where I was like, if the whole game plays out like this, I'm going to struggle. But it's just one of those, once you get free reign, it's totally different. They just kind of put everything that they need to right away.
Right. Well, what I was going to say is, like, the slow burn thing, that's not invalid at all, but I think most games and most people talking about games seem to get bogged down by tutorials and make their judgment when, every game is way different than its tutorial. Now, and I'm not trying to like, point fingers at critics or whatever, because they've all got their own ways to approach things and their own set of stresses, and everybody's going to approach a game differently. And so many folks tend to pile on when one game gets like a high score and they disagree, or one game gets a low score and they disagree, but they don't ever really examine what those scores mean. But when it comes to Biomutant, it seems like there's been a weird lockstep that, like, everyone expects like the niche that this game will appeal to rise up and defend it. But now the perception to me, and I've not read any reviews on this, so I'm not trying to say that these folks have not done their homework. I'm not trying to say anybody's wrong, but it's kind of like, it kind of seems like, well, we don't care to defend this, but we know that there will be the niche or niche folks that do, and go speak to them. But at the same time, that also feels like a weird plausible deniability.
I mean, Michaela even pointed out to me, I'm incredibly lucky when it comes to game bugs. I rarely, I don't know which RNGs I appeased, but I went through over 100 hours of Fallout 76 with minimal crashes compared to, and I would hold that. I mean, as games I've reviewed, I would hold that if I'm constantly crashing or major issues that like prevent gameplay. But I mean, I've been lucky on that front. And then just going back and looking at other reviews of Biomutant, I can see where they're coming from, but it's not something that bothers me personally.
Sure.
But I also think this game we've heard about 4 years now. Everyone, the main videos we've seen has been the cool combat and the crafting, and the game starts and like there's a combat tutorial that's super slow paced and like you dispatch the foes easily and like it's boring. So that can garner some worry because you're like, oh, if the game's like this all throughout.
Which is kind of weird because it's like it's the beginning of the game. Do you know what the like? If you were to sit like a gamer down and say, "Here's the game," what are your end game combos? Well, I don't know. I haven't played the tutorial. Well, here's the tutorial, idiot. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I agree with what you're saying. Like, when I approached it, I was just like, oh, I'm playing. Okay, combat is not like totally fleshed out, but then I am playing the tutorial, so I'm not completely judging it yet. But I agree with you. I think like people are too quick to jump to it to be like, oh, this is like concerning because it's so simple. It's like, well, it's the tutorial, you idiot.
I think a big issue is in the age we're in where we see so many previews, you're expecting something of like what drew you to this game you want like right from the get-go, but they have to set it up. But like if you think about it, like I know me and Moose have played and started, I don't know about you, Matt or Michaela, Skyrim. Me and Moose combined probably are at 24 times starting it. Talk about a slow burn. That game, I hate the beginning with the damn wagon ride and you gotta wait for the dragon, you gotta do this, and it's like, okay, already. Like, but
I get it. Arrow to the knee. I get it.
But point being, going into Skyrim, I didn't see like all these previews of like this all these like these battles that you're in because back then like you might have read the article in PC Magazine or Game Informer, but like that's now though, and in Biomutant's case, it's 4 years. It's kind of like it's been built up, but I'm telling you, once you get past this, those cool videos you saw just make, and you know what? It's also a very chill, relaxing game. It's fun. It doesn't take itself seriously, and it's just enjoyable to play.
So it's something I said to Jason during this. When you have a game that reviews like this, the two comparisons that I've been making when we saw the Biomutant reviews, Greedfall, Days Gone, highly controversial reviews where you have gamers screaming that those scores are too low or that, you know, the games deserve better, or, oh, now I'm not going to buy these things because they didn't review such and such a way. If you feel like you were excited about something and you have an instinct that you want to play it, fucking play it, because you might have fun even when a reviewer is like, this, that, the other thing sucked, blah, blah, blah. I played it for 15 hours. Bye, my job is done. Get it off my desk. Trust your instincts. If you want to play something, don't let a bad review tell you that, like, unless it's like these business practices are anti-consumer and the game is so broken you can't play it. Okay, then maybe the review should tell you not to play
logos.
But like, take a chance. If you want to take a chance, take a chance.
Yeah.
Well, and just to dovetail on that, I think a lot of folks tend to they put their excitement before their wallet a lot of the time, and they would have seen. I mean, like, think about, and I hate bringing this one up because this one is going to just sort of explode in a lot of different ways, but like No Man's Sky, when I saw that reveal at the Game Awards and I saw this very timid Sean Murray talking to whoever was hosting it at the time, and I think Joel McHale's on it going, Joel McHale looked absolutely bemused by how weird what he saw was. And I think that was what it wasn't, not Joel McHale's reaction, but like what I saw intrigued me in so many different ways. I knew that I was going to play that game. And then it comes out and people are like, okay, so we've all I mean, earlier, I think even Brad Shoemaker at Giant Bomb said like I did this to myself in a lot of ways, where I pinned my own expectations for this game onto it, and because the game is categorically not what my expectations were, I don't like it as much. But he's also kind of reconciling that like his own hype for the game sort of put him where he is. Whereas I think this was still relatively early in the tenure of the last thing, where I think we had a guest on that show going, well, so you're okay with like the no ship to ship combat? I'm like, I didn't care that wasn't in there to begin. That wasn't what drew me to the game. And, and you could sit there and say, like, sure, Sean Murray did a lot of, on some level, lying. Like, on some level, like whether it's like blatant, like this is a video game, but it's actually not a video game, whatever. I got out of that game on release what I wanted, what I needed, and I still revisit it to this day. It wasn't one of my favorite games of the year. It was like 6 out of 10 for me, but it was on my list, and ultimately
top 10.
Yeah, exactly. Like ultimately this ends up one of the, if I were to do a top 100 games, it's in the top 30 easy. And I could sit down and write a 3,000 word essay as to why.
Yeah.
But is my top 30 favorite game your favorite top 30 favorite game? No, I mean, like, let's run around the room right now. Like Moose, we're talking WoW or Skyrim, basically, or Bloodborne. Bloodborne is high on my list. It's not my favorite because it hit you differently than it hit me. Do I think it's bad? No. Do I think it's great? Fuck yes. Michaela, Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy VII and a slew of JRPGs will pepper this woman's top 10. Does that mean that they're not in mine, so I think they're shit? No, Michaela's tastes and mine are categorically different. Jason, I'll be honest with you, it's probably Borderlands and a bunch of roguelikes as far as I know you right now.
Final Fantasy VI, you son of a bitch.
That is his top game of all time.
I would say more relatable. Look at Hades. The three of you rate that significantly higher than I do.
Yeah.
Does that mean I think it's shit? No, it's an excellent game. But there was at least 7 or 8 games last year that I found more enjoyable for me.
Exactly.
Like, so it's not like it's like Loop Hero. Me and you think it's phenomenal.
Fucking love Loop Hero.
Loop Hero is definitely not for everyone.
Oh yeah. Like I
could give it a shot.
I could see both Moose and Michaela sitting down to Loop Hero, and all 4 of us coming together and talking about it, and still have 4 different points of view on it.
Yeah.
Like, and that's not just because that's the kind of weird that Loop Hero is. That's kind of the beauty of games. A lot of people
normally close with it, but gamers
is not about you.
Thank you. I'm going to stop then.
But yeah, that's
what else you got?
That's it. I'll be playing this till Ratchet.
Okay.
So basically, I can start playing it.
Yes.
I know it because I was telling Michaela I really wanted to get Necromunda, Bounty Hunter, the hired gun game tomorrow, the Warhammer game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because the reviews for Biomutant, I was timing this like, if people are doing like 15 to 20, like for me, that's like, what, 12? But like the fact that I'm like 20 some hours in and I'm 12% game progress, is like, no, I'll be playing this for a little longer. But yeah, that's it. There was some news last week.
So I feel like a lot of news happened, and I was completely absent for.
Oh, good. Then you'll be surprised.
You get schooled.
So this.
I'm at school,
and this is.
Subject number 1, Dragon Quest turned 35, and they had a few reveals.
Half dozen.
A half dozen, in fact.
We're getting
Wow,
6
completely-
Dragon
I
Quest
completely
games.
missed this.
Not this year, but six announcements. Jason, you want me to take the lead on this?
Oh, worst conference ever. Not this year. Fuck you, gamer.
Just run down the list of the 6 games. These.
So there is a mobile puzzle game called Dragon Quest Keshi Keshi that was announced. Dragon Quest X Offline was announced for 2022 in Japan only. I believe that is Japan only anyways, that MMO. Dragon Quest version 6 expansion for Dragon Quest X was announced as well. My personal probably favorite announcement of this, Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D in the Octopath style was announced, planned for simultaneous worldwide release. Simultaneous worldwide release.
I did see this
in red.
I did see this. And friend of the show, Atma Phoenix, who was on our Hades episode, she tweeted that she's going to support this specifically because she hopes Final Fantasy VI gets one, or Chrono.
I tweeted that too.
Right, and
I saw at least 10 people tweet that exact thing.
No disrespect, Michaela. I saw Atmos first, so but I solidarity with this idea.
Well, I've been talking about FF6 and the Octopath engine.
Yes, you have. I
since
know.
Octopath.
Yes, you have. I know.
My number 2 would be Chrono to see that, but never mind. The 5th one, spin-off it's a full-on RPG spin-off title. Dragon Quest Treasures was announced. It would be starring Eric and Mia. Eric is one of the party members. He's your thief from Dragon Quest 11, but it's when he's younger with his sister and they were raised by pirates. Treasure hunting RPG. You get the idea.
That'd be freaking badass.
That sounds great, actually.
Yeah, that does sound really good. Yeah,
that would be my third favorite announcement.
Okay,
and then of course, Dragon Quest 12 was finally announced. The Flames of Fate
very nice.
is going for a darker, more adult theme for Dragon Quest, and you can tell because the logo is black and written in fire.
I don't know where I saw this, but I saw someone say it was Dragon Quest 13. I'm like, I'm pretty sure they missed that one because, and I'm like, because as far as I know, 12 has not happened yet.
No.
Right, yeah.
So those are the 6.
Very cool.
Sony had a state of play for Horizon Forbidden West.
Yes.
No date revealed. Although I did, and I don't like the console wars. I think it's stupid. I think the only console war is if you read the book, Nintendo versus Genesis. Yes. That said, I saw some Xbox fanboy like, oh, no release date. That's a little worrying. Someone came right back, literally timestamp 1 second later. Oh yeah, when was that first Xbox Series X release date for an exclusive?
Nice.
Me and Michaela still think fall. It's possible.
I'm thinking October. They said more information soon, and I think it's, you know what, if they don't want to put an exact date with how many delays, even if it's only a couple weeks delay, it creates this vote of no confidence very vocally in the community. Something's wrong or whatever. If you're not 100% ready to say this is the exact date, don't say it.
Agreed.
I feel that's not the issue. I feel like it is Sony, like we've stated before, focusing on one title at a time and what's the next big title coming out.
Ratchet and Clank.
So I feel like they want to give that its breathing room. I say, what is that? Mid-June?
June 11th.
June 11th. Okay. I say by the end of June, maybe July, we will get something. If not mid.
Well, they're going to have a state of play around E3.
Right. So I feel we will have a release date before, at the latest, end of July, because they're going to want to give everybody the most amount of time to build up the hype, try and sell a kidney to get a PlayStation 5. So like work in that avenue. But I agree. I feel like it's like Sony is very much so, hey, we need to focus on one title and that's what we're doing. So this was hey, here's the title, but we don't want to steal the thunder of, because I feel it would totally steal the thunder of Ratchet and Clank. Not that like personally, if I had a PS5, I'm buying both no matter what, but there are a lot of just casual consumers out there who might have a PS5 who are like, oh shit, Horizon Zero Dawn's coming out later this year. I don't need Ratchet and Clank. You know what I mean? So it kind of could steal its thunder. So I can understand why they would not want to do a date this early before Ratchet and Clank comes out. So I feel we will get one before the end of seasonal summer.
They also said more information very soon. They said that.
Okay.
We can see it at the Summer Game Fest. Sony is involved in that.
Okay.
You know they're going to have an
What is that starting?
show June 10th.
Well, that's
Summer Game
that's
Fest.
before Ratchet technically, so
By a day.
but we'll see.
yeah.
But this gameplay footage looks
so good. It does look good. It looked really good.
They listened. You can tell they listened. You can tell everything because Horizon was a fan-fucking-tastic game, but Guerrilla had never made an open-world third-person RPG before, and you could tell like so. Obviously, the facial animations have been improved, and that was probably from the work they did on Guerrilla's proprietary engine for Death Stranding. One of the big complaints about the melee combat, the spear literally had 1 3-hit combo in the original game, and that was it. The spear combat looks very sexy.
Yes, it does. It looks really sexy. Good. It does.
And whatever that like thing is that she plugged into it and then slammed it in the ground,
like the electroshock like thing.
Yeah, that was cool.
That
but even
great.
Just the movement and the different hit combos of the spear, much better, faster, cooler. Traversal is sexy. I mean, yes, there's the glider mechanic, but I'm all about a grappling hook.
Yeah,
that grappling hook looks nice.
I think it'll be interesting to see if there's a way that you could be like, I want to focus with the spear and the bow as like a backup, or do main bow and do the spear as a backup. You know, like kind of have like that different.
They kind of encourage you to use all the weapons,
right?
Because of how versatile. Yeah, and I like that they showed off that new like pole launcher thing. That looks cool. That was throwing like it was like a spear launcher almost. I like
Spear-Zuka?
Just
pretty much.
It was like it's like the shovel Zuka in Far Cry 5.
Yep.
Yeah. Besides the facial animations in 2017's game, the number one weakness in Horizon Zero Dawn was that it came out next to Breath of the Wild, and then later that year AC Origins, both of which pretty much had free climbing, and Horizon did not. They listened. They added more climbable surfaces and made it a part of Aloy's focus mechanic. So they listened to everything and learned, which is what you want to see in a sequel.
Yep. Looks good.
Thumbs up.
Or maybe it just sort of goes to show how important Breath of the Wild was to open world too.
It wasn't just Breath of the Wild though, like you know what I'm talking about, like with the spear mechanics. They clearly listened to their audience.
Right. Yeah. Sure.
Oh, and speaking of other Sony exclusives, God of War's sequel is officially titled Ragnarok.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know. Surprised.
Wait, it wasn't already?
Wait, hold on. No, it wasn't. They just they literally never confirmed that in the reveal teaser. We all just called it that.
GG, Sony. GG. Good game.
So all the praise you just gave Guerrilla, you should hand to Sony. They listened.
Unless that was already the title.
I mean, maybe.
And we got a Sonic Central, a Sonic theme. Yeah, there's a next Sonic.
That's a face.
So most of this news I did see reactions to it on Twitter, and this is like a bunch of OG Sonics. If I'm
yeah,
the Colors collection. There's that.
Oh, that I don't know anything about.
But there's a next gen Sonic next year.
They teased did they tease an announcement or a game for next year? I think it's an announcement.
I think it was an announcement. I don't know.
It was just like Sonic New Project 2022.
Anyway,
if it's the same team that worked on Mania, it'll probably be good because Mania was critically lauded.
And more importantly, early access this Q3 is Darkest Dungeon 2.
Yes. Not that I can do anything about that because it's PC. Obviously, Darkest Dungeon released on PC first.
Like several Archer quotes just came to my head, and I'm not going to say any of them because y'all can guess what they are.
But yeah, that's according. So there'll probably be more information. There was a full interview with the dev team behind Darkest Dungeon 2. that's coming out in July's edition of the PC magazine, PC
Very
Gamer.
nice.
But we do so far know that based on information that's been uploaded to Reddit, that there will be a beta in Q3.
Which is nice. I mean, that's to be expected. The sequel has been announced for a little bit now, and rock and roll, man.
I think it was. Well, wasn't the original in early access for a long time? Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
so.
Another live stream. I just gotta say, all these devs gotta get together. Just pick one time zone to base your time on. It doesn't even have to be Eastern for us. Like, just make them all, because
Do like BST, PDT, and one other.
You know what? I can even do the math if I have to. Just do one, because the next one was Dying Light 2, which was supposed to be Thursday night at 8 p.m. Yet, when all these other announcements came out, all of a sudden Twitter's like, "Oh, here's the release trailer for." It's like, what's going on? But yes, Dying Light 2 actually has a trailer and a release date.
It's coming out this year, isn't it?
September.
7th.
December 7th.
December, my bad.
It looks cool. I mean, I think if you like Dying Light 1, you're definitely gonna like this. I think they've improved on a lot. It takes place 15 years later, though, which I didn't realize it was gonna be that far. And we also got the Far Cry 6 and Ubisoft original. Who would have thought? Apparently, Ubisoft finally kept it in-house for the past 7 of them.
Was it? Yeah, I was gonna say, was it not in-house or fuck? Who knows?
Well, the Ubisoft original, they're going to be branding all their games that now.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but that has a release date October 7th,
Right.
and it includes an adorable chorizo, a dog named Chorizo in a wheelchair. It's a little
They're gonna
It's a
get me
little hot
back.
dog.
They're gonna fucking get me back into this fucking series, aren't they?
You don't have to. You don't have to. I will. I'll jump in for it. I'll take the torch. I'll carry the torch for us.
He'll take that bullet.
Yeah. Because I mean, I didn't get into the Far Cry series till 5 and had a blast with 5 and New Dawn. So no worries. We good.
Okay.
I got you.
All
There was a
right.
Monster Hunter Rise stream.
Yeah.
New monsters, new story ending.
Mhm.
Yes. Yeah, because that's 3.0, right, Matt?
Yeah. 3.0.
Update 3.0.
I think in a Discord DM, Atma sent me footage of, it's a monster that I've never fought, but it's one that's kind of classic to the series. I think the name is Valstax, and it kind of looks like Gundam, but with a dragon head, and it basically dive bombs, and it looks scary, and I want to kill it.
Is that the one that's on the cover of Gen Alt?
I don't know what the cover of Gen Alt looks like, so
Look it up.
I will look it up right now. Keep talking.
Did they
Jason.
have a release date on that, Jason, or did they just speculate with stuff?
Didn't see it.
Okay, cool.
And the PlayStation Plus games were announced. They were actually leaked.
Again.
Same person who leaked last month and got them right. This month has 2 games debuting. Virtual Fighter 5, Blast from the Past,
Yeah.
and Operation Tango, which actually sounds interesting. It's a true co-op game.
Yes.
You cannot play this out of co-op, and it's basically, remember that game, Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes? So one person's the hacker and the other's the spy, I guess. And you have to it's kind of like basically like any spy movie where the
dude's talking in the guy's ear, and the guy has to do the stuff. That's the co-op. I would be the guy talking in your ear, Jason, and you're the guy that would have to hack or do stuff.
Around the corner, there's 2 guys. Wait, hold
Yeah.
And
it looks really cool.
And Star Wars Squadrons. So that's a big get.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's still fairly recent too. How many months ago was that? That was last fall, yeah.
October, November. Yeah.
But yeah.
I told Jason I'd be down for Tango co-op as soon as my PS5 is not in a box anymore.
Let's do it.
No confirmation on whether or not Valstrax is the cover monster.
I know the
of-
cover monster for Gen Alt is one of the like 5 or whatever that got added, and I only know that because my friend Spoons is a huge Monhun fan, and she was telling me that that's one of her favorites and it's getting
Spoons.
added.
I like her nickname.
Yeah, her nickname
is-
is I Ben
yeah.
Spoons.
I honestly think, because I'm looking at notes here on a wiki, Valstrax is one of the 2 flagship monsters of Generations Ultimate, the other being Bloodbath Diablos. And I feel like Diablos would be on a cover before Valstrax. That's just, and I'm
No, she told me it was a monster where like a lot of people didn't even fight it because you had to get super endgame to tackle it.
Okay.
Fuck that.
Oh, and according to a Sony investor report, Uncharted 4 is going to PC.
Yeah,
It's
saw
not,
Good.
That would be smart.
Sony
Good.
themselves didn't actually confirm that,
no,
but they didn't say anything about it.
and,
There was also a new screenshot from the movie or something.
Oh, and Origami is getting a sequel out this year, and it's got 3-player co-op.
I think we knew there was a sequel, we just didn't know that.
Yeah, that's the cell shaded Tenchu-like game.
Yeah, it's stealth game, ninja.
Oh, yes. So that would
It's
be
red.
Origami
It's red.
2. Right. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they
Okay.
released,
All right.
they had a DLC that came out when it launched on Switch, I believe.
Okay.
But,
Yeah, I heard that game. I saw a buddy of mine streaming it. It looked like it'd be a lot of fun to play. Like,
I think I played it back
John-
during Platinum's backlog challenge. I think it was in there.
I remember hearing you talking about it.
Yeah, it's fun. Co-op would be cool in that. I'm
Yeah.
curious how it would work, but
I think it would be kind of cool because like you're both like on the rooftops and be like, all right, I'll get this enemy, you get this one, boom.
Yeah.
You know, like kind of like the same stealth kills with like Splinter Cell or something, you know, or Breakpoint.
Yeah.
You know, because like you gotta like time your shots and shit. But anyway, sorry.
but three-player co-op, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So we'll see. And that's that was it.
That was it.
We kind of blazed through a ton of
We're
news.
gonna get
I feel-
we're gonna get tons more
Fun.
announcements.
In the next
coming.
couple, in the next couple weeks.
So when does E3 proper start?
The 12th.
The 12th.
Yeah.
And then is it the same time they're dueling with Summer Games Fest?
Summer
Yes,
Game
they
Fest
were-
has its live show on the 10th. So it's the 10th is Summer Game Fest has their opening show. The 12th is it's the 12th through the 14th is E3 proper.
Okay.
I bet money that
I'll be
Sony's gonna
moving.
I bet money that Sony's gonna come in and be like, hey, here's our day. It's just gonna be like out of the blue, like on a Monday, Tuesday, and be like, it's Thursday. Here you guys go.
Well, they-
like come
they
watch our
generally-
state
They
of play.
generally announce their state of play 2 days before.
Right,
They've
right.
never-
That's why I'm saying it'll be a Tuesday, and it might not even be that week. It might be like the week after, you know?
Watch
Also,
it.
remember that time they announced Ratchet and Clank's release date in a tweet?
Yeah.
Yeah, we remember
Sony,
that.
you don't even know what the fuck they're gonna do.
Well, it's
Yeah.
it's kind of like I'm not sure who's less predictable now, Sony or Nintendo.
Also, the Nintendo Pro rumors are strong. The force is strong. They get this
I'm-
way every time this year.
Yeah.
Every single. It's like a clock. It
Yeah.
happens every year. Pre E3, they're gonna announce it. Like, okay, you will eventually be right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, like I saw some reports earlier this week about some stuff from Nintendo with Metroid, and I'm excited about it because I love Metroid. But it's like, you know, you don't want to get too excited because it's like Nintendo's that dirty bitch that just wants to lie to your face sometimes. And you're just like, I can't
Oh.
trust you.
Actually, wait, Moose, did you see? This is actually Nintendo announced there is new DLC coming for Age of Calamity.
Oh no, I did see that. So I am excited about that. I'm going to see what that's about because I would love to go back to that game because I was surprised at how much I enjoyed that game. So yes, I will be going back to that. Yeah, the Metroid stuff, just yeah. Let's see what they announce. Hopefully they really acknowledge the 35th anniversary of Metroid. There's also rumors that they have yet to fully acknowledge the Zelda 35th anniversary. So Skyward Sword is just the tip of the iceberg, which would be awesome, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens at E3, whatever, if they do a Nintendo Direct and find out what's going on. So
yeah,
So
watch.
far for E3,
they're
we
gonna
don't.
they're gonna fully embrace the Zelda anniversary by announcing a physical Switch edition where they are going to kill Zelda.
No.
I'd have no
But
problem with that.
for E3, we know the dates are the 12th or 14th, except for like Ubisoft. We know like who's going. Like we know Square, Nintendo, etc. are going. We just don't have. They haven't showed like the schedule of like who's on what day. We know Ubisoft
Who's on
is
first?
on that first Saturday. Ubisoft is like going first on Saturday. But everyone else, we don't know the order and the timing yet.
Right.
Who's on first?
Now, I know you said the 10th and the 12th. So what if Sony just does their thing on the 11th?
It's the 11th.
Can they wait a couple days because like
No.
my
Nobody
movers
cares
are
about
delivering my
you.
shit on the 10th.
Nobody cares about you.
And then my
you're
furniture
moving.
that
That's
I
your
just
own
bought is
problem.
coming on the 12th. Could
That's
they
your
just
own
wait?
problem.
To
But it's
quote the
all about
principal
me.
in how no gamers, it's not about you.
I can say it. It's my line.
Oh shit! Shit, he did it. He did
My
it.
To quote
So now-
to quote the principal in the often overlooked sequel House Party 2, time waits for no man.
All right, so
I'm not a man.
Here is
With
my
that attitude.
speculations. All right, here's my speculations. Okay, all listeners know Sony usually announces their stuff 2 days before, and they like to show on a Thursday. Okay, the Thursday is the 10th. I will fucking throw down a bet that tomorrow they announce that they're going to do something on the 3rd. They will beat out everybody else on the E3 announcements.
What's that bet?
They'll have their own. They'll
Oh,
have
what's
their
the
own
bet?
stage.
What are you betting?
What are you betting?
Well, no,
I'll
let
bet
him finish his terms. Let him finish his terms. I want to hear.
So
his
they're gonna have their own stage.
Okay.
Nobody else, and they're gonna kick off the whole E3 and the Summer Games Fest with their own state of play. Now, granted, they just did Horizon Forbidden West, but they could do their own thing on the 3rd.
I'll take that bet. What are we
I'm
betting?
gonna say no.
Who else wants in?
So okay, so if now are you saying if all of this doesn't happen, or if some of it doesn't happen? Are you going
I would
all or
say
nothing?
something has to happen on the 3rd.
So what you're saying is if they come out tomorrow and say, hey, we're doing something, but it's not the 3rd.
Well, no. What I'm saying is, I would say it would have to be like the 3rd or the 4th. I would say the 3rd or the 4th. They could say Friday as well.
Okay, so it doesn't matter whether or not. So
I'm saying they're going to beat the E3 announcements.
It's not
Of like
what,
E3 being on the 9th, the 10th, and the 11th, the Summerfest thing being. They're going to actually jump to the front of the line and kick things off. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't have to be the 3rd, the 4th. It can be the 7th or the 8th.
I'm going to take this bet.
I'll take the bet.
I'm going to take this
I'm moving, so no.
bet.
What are we betting?
What are we betting?
Shit, well, I don't have to pay both of you out. Jesus.
You called it out.
$20 PSN card. Let's do
All
it.
right.
All right.
Done.
Okay. All right.
Well, that's all for news. Do we have anything?
Okay, so before we get the hell out of here, because
That's some silly shit, man.
I guess. Well, silly. Yeah. No, I don't know. This one's kind of near and dear to my heart. My friend Caroline, who writes for Popular Mechanics, she and I decided to start a music podcast called Trivial Merit. Our teaser episode is out. I'm trying to get it to other platforms. Right now, it's only on Anchor, and I don't know why it hasn't been distributed. Usually, it takes a couple of business days. It's been like 3. So, hopefully, it will be on other platforms soon. But you can listen to the 5-minute teaser talking about what it is, where we come together, basically we pick an artist and we make a playlist, 8 songs long, to get us from a negative headspace to a positive one. And I do know that we will be looking for guests on that soon. So that'll happen every 2 weeks. And yeah. So what do we say to gamers, Michaela?
It's not all about you. It might be a little bit about me, but it's not all about you.
Moose.
At Story Route Zero, we have some cool friends who do some cool things, and I'd like to tell you about them. Phoenix Overdrive uses the power of games and gamers to help heal sick kids through the charity Extra Life. Phoenix Overdrive fundraises for Children's Miracle Network hospitals all year, every year, and the fund culminates in a 24-hour gaming marathon. Find out more about their events and projects online via Facebook at facebook.com/Phoenix Overdrive or on Twitter and Instagram at PHX_Overdrive. You can also join the Facebook group of Pawn Stars at facebook.com/groups/PO Nation in order to share and discuss all the latest in nerd culture. They've also got a podcast, Nerd Overdrive, which you can see weekly at youtube.com/Phoenix Overdrive. You can also catch it on Facebook Live or twitch.tv/PHX_Overdrive. That podcast is also published on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and Stitcher. You want merch? They got merch. Merch can be ordered from tinyurl.com/PHXOD merch, a portion of which goes to their fundraising efforts. Join the nation and be a hero to sick kids, as El Capitan Rey Osorio, Lee the Maestro, and Becky, the lovely queen of the guild, always say, #Rise Above. Thank you for listening to Story Route Zero. We hope you have enjoyed your time here as much as we've enjoyed having you. Once again, questions, concerns, complaints, pictures of pets, or favorite recipes can be sent to storyroutzero@gmail.com. You can yell at us on Twitter @StoryRouteZero. Rate us and review us on iTunes, YouTube, or wherever you may have found us, as it helps with discoverability. If you'd like to hit us up individually, you can find Moose Cool @Sven, that's SVHENN on Twitter, PSN, Instagram, and of course Twitch, streaming games. You can find Jason Marshall writing at obelisk.co. You can also find him on Twitter @GimpyJ with 2 Y's at the end, as well as PSN, Instagram, and Twitch. He also has his own website, whereisthepausebutton.com. You can find Michaela Crescione doing all sorts of writing at obelisk.co, as well as on Twitter @RedXMaud. My name is Matthew Keel. You can find me everywhere I'd like to be @infinite_rewind. That's Twitter, that's Instagram, that's Twitch, that's PSN, and I also have my own website, infiniterewind.com. Be sure to check us out at all the places. You are always welcome, and you will always have a seat waiting for you on this ride. Thank you for listening, but for now, it's back to the real world for us. So we will see you on the next one.